Life story time. This would be part 16, I guess. Doing back to back, live from Mark Allen Bialik's living room, I guess. So trying to make as much money as possible and be as smart as possible and use the newest technology available. I find out about water-cooled lights. It's a tube about 4 inches made out of Pyrex glass, and then another tube that's 6 inches in diameter, both of which are cylinders made out of Pyrex glass. So you got a 1 inch complete circumference between the two pieces of glass that are watertight, and you flow water through them out of like a 55-gallon trash can to keep them cool. Like you can actually touch them and just keep your hand on the glass and you won't burn. And these are 1,000 watt like street lamps, high pressure sodium they call them, the red spectrum. You can put your hand a couple inches away from the light and it's actually be hotter than if you touched it, and that increases that decreases the height that you have to keep the lights away from the plants to not burn them with heat. And light is a squared differential, which means if you get twice as close with a light, you get 4 times as much lumens. A lumen is basically a single regular candle light. You light a candle, you measure just that light. It's about a lumen. That's where lumens come from. I'm up there like 180,000 lumens at a foot away, and I had them like 6 inches. So you get to quadruple that. On average, my lights were 16 times more powerful. They were 4 times closer than they could be if you did. And decided to throw out the soil, except for the mother. So the mother is your main plant. And you cut off little branches and you stick them in this machine that you can build or buy. But I built mine, called a clone machine. What it is aeroponics. It sprays a constant stream of nutrients, and in this case hormones, onto the plants. And it's dark in there, so the roots grow because of the hormones. It triggers the roots. And then I found out you could do that vegetative and flowering. So I would just drill out the same 2-inch boreholes on the clone machine, and then out of PVC fence post coverings and a design I found on the internet that I altered, I would make plug-and-play bays. And they would be in the clone machine for 2 weeks, and then they'd be in the vegetative for a month. And I would take them out and wrap the roots. Even though you're not really supposed to fuck with the roots, I would, because they'd get all intermingled and tear. But I would wrap them on themselves and make these balls of roots and then move them into the flowering room, which was water-cooled, real high-pressure sodium lights. And I had it on a sea of green, so every 4 weeks I would harvest about 1.5 pounds of Alaskan Thunderfuck. I tried mango and OG Kush and stuff now, but it was Alaskan Thunderfuck. So I did that for like a year, got the kids back, and then just being stupid and lazy and greedy, kept doing it. And I had to deal with a fire. My house caught on fire. Couldn't call the fire department. Good thing the kids weren't there. Had to put out a fire, theft, constant stress of being raided. I've had the kids now for probably a year. So I'm like actually understanding what it means to be a dad, so I start breaking down. Without telling my friend from back in the day, but I told the new friend, Steve, that I was just going to break down. Got rid of the vegetative room, all the mothers, all the clones, all the vegetative plants. Tore down most of the flowering room except for a couple plants. And Steve went and took everything away. that I wasn't using. I had a babysitter named Shorty. His real name was Darren Davis. He died. His brother died. They were hit by an Amtrak train. And I'm grief-stricken and, sure that they were in heaven or whatever, but I'm grief-stricken. And their father was saying stupid shit, and they called out their father on it, and he kicked in my door. I wasn't there. And the cops were called, and he said, grow up, grow up, grow up. And when I went home, there was a cop waiting for me. The sheriff. And that's where I'll leave. That was always, don't think like me, just think.